Okay, so for this podcast, here's what we're going to do, brother. I was making a bunch of reels yesterday, and I was looking at them at my blue book, and I was looking through them for like what we could talk about in today's episode. And then I thought, oh, this would be a good topic. And so in one of the reels, basically, I talk about how you hear this narrative that life is a marathon, but there's times where you have to sprint. And I think we talk about is, you know, it's a common theme in a lot of motivational videos. So I thought for today's episode, what we could talk about is the opposite of that. You know, the beginning of that sentence is that life is a marathon. And for most of life is a marathon. Most of life is steady. And there's moments when you go full force and you sprint. But I thought maybe we could both, we could talk about the marathon bits.
Yeah.
So talk about things in life that are like a marathon that slowly and steadily throughout the course of your life, you should constantly try and improve and increase and do better at.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. It's a good framework, isn't it?
It is a good framework, yeah. So, you know, we often talk about the sprint phases, but I thought let's talk about the marathon. Let's talk about the slow, boring stuff today.
Yeah, I like that. You mentioned before, like, hifth and stuff, like learning Qur'an. I think that's a good place to start.
Yeah. So I noted some down and I asked you to note some down as well. So we can start with some suggestions that I have of things that...
and I think while you get there, let me just like... when you said the marathon sprint to me, I saw it as a framework of like, okay, why even be in a marathon? Why is it a marathon? Like, why are we racing at this point, right? And why we're not always just sprinting? Why not just sprint forever, essentially? And I think, one, that's not realistic to sprint forever. And two, being in the marathon rather than just like taking a break completely and not doing anything at all will help you when it comes to those times where you do need to sprint, right? So, again, staying on topic with Islam, if we're talking about like giving charity, for example, when it comes to Ramadan or the last 10 nights of Ramadan, obviously at that point, charity-wise, you need to be sprinting, right? But if you're not giving charity throughout the year, a little bit here and there, it'll be harder for you to go into sprint mode and like really be generous.
Yeah, that's
right?
true. Yeah,
Whereas if you're in the marathon, which could be in just like making very slow progress, but progress nonetheless, when it is time to sprint, you've got a little bit of momentum going. It's not totally alien to you to give charity. And this applies to everything. I'm just giving charity as an example. So that's why it's important to always be in the marathon if you're not sprinting. Right?
Yeah, of course.
Taking a break totally, pretty much in anything, shouldn't really be an option.
Yeah. And most of life is like that. Most of life is a conglomeration of loads of small things done regularly.
Yeah.
And I heard the saying years ago that a mountain is made by lots of small stones. And I was like, wow, first of all, that's true. And second of all, it's interesting to see life like that because you just look at the mountain. There's so many sayings like that, isn't there? The pennies make the pounds. Even I heard one that I really liked. I don't know if this relates to what we're talking about, but I heard one that was like, it's not the mountain that, it's not the mountain that does something like to your way, but it's the pebble in the road. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, the pebble in the road. Yeah, that's...
Do you know the saying?
I think, I haven't heard the mountain bit, but the pebble in the road is like, that's a idiom, isn't it? For like, it's kind of... It looks like a small insignificant thing, but can derail you if you're not careful. Type of thing. I think that's what it's about.
It's not the mountain ahead that wears you down, it's the pebble in your shoe.
Oh, that's even worse. Yeah, pebble in your shoe. No, in the road, you can skip past that. Your shoe. Yeah. Problem, mate.
How interesting is that saying? They said, this highlights how little annoyances, if ignored, can exhaust you more than big challenges.
Yeah. And I guess we're trying to do the reverse here, which is like, use a pebble to your advantage. You know, do little things like that to actually help you in life rather than have it slow you down.
Yeah. Just take a quick break in the pod, guys, to let you guys know that we have a link now available on LaunchGood. If you go to launchgood.com/freshly grounded, you can donate money to have food and water given and distributed in Gaza. And so that's basically, we've teamed up with Human Appeal to do that. And this has been in works for a long time. We've been speaking to them for a few months, and we were kind of having a conversation about like making sure that they can actually get the food to Gaza. And so they've been updating us in WhatsApp. I have like a group, and they're always like sending pictures and stuff. And really kind of wholesome and fulfilling to see. So if you guys want to donate to that, just head over to launchgood.com/Gandhi. The link will also be in the bio. And so far, if I just check my most recent WhatsApp message, they have been able to distribute 14,000. This is as of 18th of August, so a few days ago. 14,881 hot meals in Gaza. And they've been showing me pictures and videos of it and stuff like that, which is, really wholesome. So if you want to be part of that, head over to launchgood.com/freshly guarded, and let's get back to the rest of the episode. Yeah. Okay, so the first one I had, like you said, is ḥifz. Yeah. I think generally in life, even if you're not sprinting with it, at least in some way throughout the course of your life, we should always be trying to memorize Qur'an, memorize more surahs, memorize more āyāt. If we ever reach becoming a hafiz, great. But if not, then we die on that path. And also, if you have an opportunity to sprint with it, like, a lot of people say that if you want to take your ḥifz seriously, you can memorize the entire Qur'an, modestly, they would say 5 years. If you really go in, you could do it in 3 years. So if you do have an opportunity to sprint and to actually complete the Qur'an in 5 years, great. But if not, I think that's one of the categories of things that we should always be doing throughout the marathon of life, is 100%. Trying to memorize more Qur'an.
I think that's probably the best example of what this is about. Yeah. I mean, there should never be a period in your life where you haven't made some sort of small effort to memorize at least one ayah here or there. You know what I mean? So, and yeah, again, when it comes to Ramadan or first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, I think these periods of the year where we should be sprinting, it's a lot easier to go into sprint mode if you're already in the habit of memorizing an ayah here or there or a surah here or there every now and again. Whereas if you're doing nothing, Ramadan can hit you and it's I can't get the momentum right. By the time you get your momentum, it's late in the month. So yeah, that's the best example. I think all the other examples will pale in comparison to that. But
no, I think there's lots of ones that in different phases, right? So okay, what's yours? You give me one.
My one. So I guess you'll go Deen Dunya here.
Yeah. So are you going to do Dunya or?
I'll go Dunya. I've got some Deen ones as well. But mine was diet.
I had that one. Oh, that's really good, yeah.
Well, if you looked at my notes, you would have seen that I had.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just ignored your notes.
Mine was diet. And I guess health in general, not just necessarily what we eat and drink, but I guess eat and drink is obviously the main thing. But I have implemented, I'm not a healthy guy, but I've implemented small things. Again, Pebbles, rather in my shoe, maybe in my hand.
Let's forget the pebble now. It's not. It didn't work for us.
I'm going to keep shoehorning the pebble.
When I had to find the saying on ChatGPT, at that point it was downhill.
No.
Forget the pebble.
I'm going to make sure Pebbles mention every.
Fine. Okay.
But anyway, so my thing was let me cut out the 1 teaspoon of sugar I have in my tea. Okay. Because early on in I did this 15, 16, something like that. Right. Having a tea in my family is part of our culture. The English tea here and Turkish tea. And also having a sugar in the tea, part of the culture. Put sugar in the tea. And everyone was doing it.
Fine.
And early on, I was I really don't like it without sugar. But it just felt like an easy way. Just wow, I'll just not have that sugar in my tea. And sometimes you have 2 teas, 3 teas a day. 3 teas a day. That's a lot of sugar. So I cut that early. Now I prefer tea without sugar. And I probably had a mountain of sugar that didn't enter my body because of that one small hack over the course of 15 years. So I feel like that's a good one.
I like that one. I've got a story about that exact scenario.
Go on then.
When I was younger, I was at an auntie's house and she goes, do you want some tea? And I said, yes, please. She goes, do you take sugars? I said, yes. How many sugars? I said 2. All right? We're dialoguing. Yeah? 2 sugars. She gave me the tea. I drank the tea. After, she goes, how was it? I said, it was lovely. And she goes, did you know that I only put 1 sugar in there? And I said, no way. And so what I did is it showed me that, first of all, because I thought it was 2 sugars, I enjoyed the tea. Yeah. If she said I'm only going to put 1 in and then I drank it, I would have gone, could have done with the sugar. But I didn't think that. And so then from that day onwards, I only had 1 sugar in my tea. Yeah. And cheekily, I don't know, is this unethical? Cheekily, sometimes if somebody asks me for 2 sugars, I'll do the same. And then I'll be I've only put 1 in there. So I do tell them. Yeah. And then because I think it's a good deed to be whoa, actually, I'm reducing I'm increasing. I've just increased your life expectancy.
Yeah. I guess as long as you don't say I'm going to put 2 in, you put 1.
Yeah. And you tell them all. And you tell them.
I've done it to my dad a few times.
It's a little bit of a deception.
Now that you mentioned it, I've done it to my dad a few times. Where it's he wants a sugar, but I'd put half.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I told him as well.
And then you go and then
But he was fine, and I'm pretty sure after that a few times he would say half, because I did it once. So yeah, that's a good way to. That is good because a lot of it is psychological. You think you need that level of sweetness when you don't.
Yeah.
So that's a really easy hack, man. If you can cut that out.
But another one just like that is after every meal, I need to have something sweet, like a chocolate or something.
Still working on that one.
But guess what, bro? I think I've battled it.
Just have a tea with sugar in it.
Actually, that does help.
It does help.
It does help, actually.
Yeah.
A tea, and that's probably better than having a chocolate bar.
Probably.
But I do like a piece of chocolate after a meal, and so here's something that I've implemented that's helping that. I'll just give it, instantly after a meal, I'll want chocolate.
Yeah.
To the point where I can be full, bro, but it's like I have a second stomach for dessert.
Yeah.
And which is empty. And so what I do is I just say to myself, okay, just give yourself 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and bro, 100% of the time it works. Once you've waited 10 minutes, your food is digested more and you've gotten over it and you've forgotten about it. It's just immediately after you want the chocolate.
Yeah. And that, by the way, that delay tactic works with everything. Yeah. Whatever the temptation may be.
You want money? Delay it.
Yeah. You don't need it.
Yeah. Wait, you want money? Wait 10 minutes.
Yeah. Put that bill aside. It'll go away. No. But that works. So if you want to, whatever it could be, right? If you just delay it, you say, okay, I'll do that later today though. I will do that. We'll do it later today. I want to go for that dessert. We'll just do it later today. Again, by the time you get around to it, it's like, the feeling is gone. Don't even care about it anymore. And you end up not doing that thing that either saved your health a bit, saved your money a bit. It was a sin. You shouldn't be doing it, whatever it may be. So just that, I'll do it in an hour. I'll do that after Isha time. But it's like, now it's like, I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So that's delay tactics good.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good one, bro. Diet. In general, diet is a marathon. Always focus on your diet throughout the marathon of life and make it a lifestyle. I think that's a good one. I'm also gonna go... I'm gonna go to a lighter-hearted one here now. I'm gonna say sales.
Okay, yeah.
I think sales is a marathon in life that you should always be improving at.
Okay, so I did say we should do a whole episode on sales, by the way, but go on.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
So I think that first of all, regardless of what you do in life, you're always in the game of sales. That's what I've realized. And actually it's interesting because next week we've got on the podcast, arguably one of the kings of sales, Dan Henry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
So, so we'll talk to him more about sales. But in almost like negotiation, you always are, when I read the book, Never Split the Difference, that's a book about negotiation. What he says at the beginning of the book is that no matter what, you're always in some way in a negotiation in life. And so the skills I'm going to teach you in this book are going to be useful to you. When we talk about negotiation, we just think of it like, two people sitting in a boardroom trying to discuss a deal. But you're negotiating when you're trying to convince your child to go to bed. You're negotiating when you're at the marketplace and so many different places. And I think sales is like that as well. Yeah. You're always trying to sell something. Either you're trying to sell yourself at a job interview, whatever it may be the case. And so I feel like now I'm 31, I've done really bad sales pitches and just selling, and I've improved over time, and I'm inshallah going to continue to improve. So I think that in the marathon of life, you should constantly, one of the things that you should constantly be trying to get better at and referring back to is trying to improve your sales. Now, that thought was triggered to me because I woke up today to a DM that I read, and I just thought to myself, first of all, may Allah bless this brother, and I'm not going to say his name or anything like that because then it would fall into backbiting, but because nobody knows it, I do think there's a benefit here. So I woke up to this DM from this brother, and the number one DM I get the most, bro, is from short form video editors all the time, because obviously they know we've got a podcast and stuff like that. Always we can edit your videos and stuff like that. Fine, I'm used to it now. But quite often I get this exact style of pitch, of sales pitch, which I just personally think is such a bad sales pitch, bro. What it basically is based on criticism. And so it'll be like, Assalamu alaikum, Akhi Faisal, love your staff, but I noticed, I'm a short form editor, and I noticed that you're but I noticed that your subtitles are really basic, or your videos, I don't know, the way you do X, Y, Z is really bad. We can improve that.
Yeah.
the reason I never like it is because nobody likes being criticized. If you read the book Ride of a Lifetime by Bob Iger, who was the CEO of Disney, I think he's actually come back as the CEO of Disney. He talks about how to manage a creative person. Now, if you're speaking to somebody on DMs, on socials, you're speaking to an influencer or creative or creator, most likely that person falls under the category of being a creative person.
Yeah.
And what Bob Iger basically speaks about in his book is saying that you have to speak to creatives a little bit differently than how you would speak to maybe like a developer or something, because developers are very like ones and twos, fact, this is not. And I've dealt with developers and you can say to them like, that's not the right way of doing it. And they're very easygoing and like, okay, cool. Like, whereas with creatives, they're like emotionally attached to their work. And so if I'm going in with a pitch, let's say for example, you have like this great, you're creating content on social media. I'm like, hey Kaya, love that you're doing content, but your videos are bad for this, and this reason. You instantly, you're a bit like, bro, like, why are you coming at me with criticism? I feel like it's just not the right approach. Yeah. You don't have to do it with criticism. I understand the approach because what they're trying to do is essentially present a problem and then present that they have the solution. But I think there's a better way. I think you could present a problem of like, I love that you're doing clips. Like, how great would it be if we just had way more of them?
Yeah.
And we can just churn out, like, we can churn these out of volume. You still presented a problem that I don't have enough clips. You still criticized in some way, and you presented a solution so that your sales format still works, but you've not gone, hey, your clips suck, we can do them better.
Yeah.
But anytime anyone's come to me with a picture like that, I instantly don't want to work with them. Because I'm like, you're trying to approach me with, hey, you're really bad at this.
Yeah.
It just feels like criticism.
I feel like, and I do a lot of like cold emails, not so much cold DMs, but I think this works for like DMs, emails, and even social content, like on LinkedIn, for example. You've got to lead with value, right? Criticize somebody. And respect. Criticize somebody is not inherently valuable. Yeah. Because I may not even agree with your criticism anyway.
Yeah.
So immediately not valuable, right? And even if I do, maybe I don't like your tone.
Yeah.
So everything you just said is correct. It's better to lead with value. So it would be better to either, if I'm a clip maker pitching for Fresh Grounded, free advice right now, go on YouTube, get the latest episode, make one clip, don't go crazy, but if you really want to get a client, get 3 clips for them, make it great, just send those 3 clips, and then say, bro, what do you think I should make these 3 clips for you? What do you think we could probably do like 5 a week? Just value, that the clips are there, you can say, you can use them by the way if you want to right now, you can publish them. Like, oh, this guy's giving me free content to post right now, and I can do more, right? So it's immediate value. You may have criticism of his clips in your head, just apply them to your clips.
Yeah.
Show the fix. Don't say you're bad. This is what's good. Just show.
I would even, this is probably controversial, but I would even say like, also mention the price, bro. Because like, when you're scrolling through DMs, it's like, you can make a quick decision, like, okay, that's in our budget or not.
Yeah, I hear it.
I have always liked pricing being very overt. Mm-hmm. I've always liked that.
Yeah.
Hey, this is what we've got like, I don't like the game of numbers. In big deals, I know that has to be done. And so, if we're doing like a year-long sponsorship deal, I'm aware of the game. I know that it's like, okay, what's your budget? Okay, well, we can mend things towards it, because you don't want to sell something to someone. Someone's got a $30,000 budget and you come in at 5K, but it's like, we could have actually fulfilled enough deliverables for 30K. We could have built up our deliverables and made sure we provide you enough value for it, but we've just lost 25K that was on the table because we never thought that was in your budget. So I understand it for big stuff, but if it's like, look, you do this and you'd have a number in your head. Actually, this is good advice, like you said, because we're actually looking for clippers at Freshly Grounded now. And the reason I was looking through my DMs was for that reason, because I know I get so many DMs from video editors. So I was thinking, let me go through them. But then I ended up giving up. But I need to find a solution actually to the clipping thing, because I want more video editors to edit short form clips for Freshly Grounded. And I don't know how to go about it, because it's a really noisy field, because I have so many video editors messaging me. I don't even know how to start like sieving through it. I almost want someone to be like, I can do this amount of clips.
Yeah.
I'm good at finding a good clip. This is how much I'm comfortable with charging. Does that work for you? But also the problem even with all that is not that, it's the reliability of someone. It's like, when it comes to clipping, you don't actually need someone who's a great editor. What you do need is someone who knows what kind of stuff works, but also how the format of creating clips, bro. So like, like some clips do really well that are like the clip, but what makes it do well is is the annotations on the video.
Yeah.
Recently, for example, we put out this video about like the party poppers in the event, right? Now, if you look at that video, the video would be rubbish if it wasn't for all of these different annotations on the video, where it's like, here's what it was like when we asked for 100, and then it's got like what I'm thinking in my head and things like that. So I almost want to see that someone can be really reliable and that like 100% of the clips that they make, we can actually post.
Bit of a side note, have you know the concept of like put like a proposal out.
Like a Clipper army.
Clipper army. Why not do that with the FG crowd where it's like, look, we could
I want to do that, but I don't know how.
There's two models. Either you pay them a very low fee to do like 10 a month or whatever like that, and then they.
But for what system? There was that website.
There's that. What's it called? WAP.
WAP. Yeah.
Right, so you can do it on WAP, or you could do it manually. And here's how. Right?
I tried WAP and I couldn't figure it out.
It was weird.
It wasn't user friendly.
It wasn't, was it? But here's how you could do it manually, right? You could just put it out on the story. Say, look, if we get 10,000 views on one of your clips, you get X bonus. If you get 50,000 X bonus. If you get
so you're just paying them manually, basically.
Yeah, because if let's say you get 10 people apply to do it for free with the bonuses, or you pay them a very low amount with bonuses, you're only probably going to get like 5 viral clips a month. Probably.
Yeah, I need to figure out. Maybe I can have on a Discord channel for freshly grounded clippers.
Yeah, that's it.
And then communicate with them on there. But I still need to figure out the system of paying them and
PayPal,
all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, but then like, let's say we've got like a bunch of editors on there. I'd have to figure it all out.
But again, it's probably best if you only pay them if they hit that target, right?
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Otherwise, the other thing is, I'm just thinking like the easiest thing I found is hiring people in house. Like, it's just hiring another full-time editor.
I hear it, but that's one way to go. But I do think the whole Clipper army thing, it
does work. Yeah.
It boosts virality. Here's the thing: either you can select some. So here's part of the deal: they've got to create their own, FG clips on TikTok, FG clips on their own version of that, and post it there. If they get 10K views plus on their account, it's a certain bonus, and you can also earmark some of them for the actual main FG page that you say.
So you can repost it.
Yeah, we're going to use that. You can repost it if you want, but we're actually going to use that. And if we get 10K, whatever, you get another bonus.
Yeah, I've got to figure that all out.
That creates virality.
Yeah.
And,
if somebody has the solution for this, like done for you, then let me know.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's also a lot of people in this industry in general of socials that are what's the word? What's the cowboys?
Yeah,
there's a lot of cowboys in this industry.
Again,
so I just want to have a real conversation with a real human who is not like who is just like real and it's like gets it and me and is not like someone who is like
a cowboy.
Yeah,
I hear it, but again, the Clipper army kind of takes care of it because the cream rises, kind of thing.
That's true.
And if they're not good, it just doesn't go anywhere.
That's true.
And people who know they're good back themselves, like, yeah, I could definitely get 10K views on this to get my bonus, or 50K or 1 million, and they back themselves and they go for it.
Yeah.
So, and you could just hire that person who keeps smashing it as well.
Yeah. Fine. Yeah. All right. So back to things that in the marathon of life you should always try and work on.
My turn. Developing ṣabr.
Yes.
And ḥilm.
Yes.
ḥilm being like forbearance.
Okay.
So I think I was doing some research on this. Ibn Taymiyyah, Ibn Qayyim, they were saying that ḥilm is a branch of ṣabr, right? ḥilm is a specific type or subset of ṣabr, right? Ṣabr, we're all aware of it. It's like having patience, endurance. ḥilm is more like, and that could be with like tests in your life, trials, even like having ṣabr with like not committing sins, things like this, and staying within the limits set by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? ḥilm is more like person to person. Someone's like being rude to you, someone's provoking you. Having ḥilm in that situation, having forbearance, clemency, is like a special form of ṣabr for that kind of situation, right? So, marathon sprint. For me,
ṣabr is such a marathon thing. It's such a perfect example.
Marathon. Yeah, you have to build that slowly.
It's like over the course of your life, you need to get better. Yeah.
And again, we should all study this. Like, there's levels to ṣabr where it's like the highest level of ṣabr, if I'm not mistaken, is like being pleased with what Allah's decreed for you.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, going back to the whole marathon sprint thing. For me, I've sort of felt this over the last year. It's like I've been playing football a lot more. And my sprints come during my football game. So it's like I'm really being tested, provoked, maybe indirectly or directly, even by people I'm playing with. I feel that way anyway. And those are my sprints. So it's like, okay, I've got to really up my level of sabr and ḥilm here to ensure my character stays how I want to stay, and so on and so forth. So again, that's a lot harder to do during my football games if throughout my week I'm not trying to do little bits and bobs to remain patient, have ḥilm with my family, with people on the street, with people on the road. Road rage comes into it, these little things. And it may not be like a huge explosive issue. It's a little issue. As I'm saying, the marathon becomes a little issue where your kid's not listening to you right now and they're testing you, or something happens on the road. It's not a big deal, but you're having a bad day and you just explode or whatever. Training yourself at those times throughout the week, throughout the day, when it comes to a big event, whether for me it's my football games, for somebody else could be visiting a certain relative, whatever. That will help when it comes to sprinting and like raising that level of ḥilm that you need.
Agreed. Yeah. I like that, man. I like that one. And sabr is definitely one of those things that just throughout life you need to improve.
Yeah, and revisit, improve, rebuild, revisit.
Okay, my next one I've got is lowering your gaze. So I think lowering your gaze is one of those things where you kind of like, you get really good at knowing what you should do and then implementing it. You know the triggers, you know what to do, you know what not to do. Most of it is done for you because like when you start practicing, there's just certain places you don't even go to and things like that, right? There's certain types of content you don't consume and things like this. So it always becomes like it always becomes automated in your brain, which is great. It's a great thing. However, you have to be aware of the fact that the shaitan is constantly working and he can cause you to slip just one time. And I remember one of our teachers saying that like if you even see something like on your phone when you're scrolling, it could like crush your iman for 2 weeks. And so lowering your gaze, I think, is something that throughout the course of your life, in the marathon of life, you have to just make sure that the shaitan's not creeping up on you. You have to make sure that you are on your P's and Q's. You have to make sure that you check yourself, and you have to make sure that you kind of like are aware that Allah is watching. Yeah. And it's something that you're going to even go through dips in life with your iman. You're going to go through ups and downs. So if you're just constantly trying to improve it, there's like, and bro, I've seen some like really interesting examples where I feel like people who I know have like mastered it to a degree that we wouldn't have even thought about. So I was going to do a Fresh Ground episode last week when I was in Manchester from the hotel about like 10 lessons I've learned from spending 24 hours with a sheikh. Yeah. And I just never got around to it. But one of those lessons that I was going to mention was that I went out with this sheikh and we went for a drive-through at one point, and he put his window down and it was a woman, and he very respectfully spoke to her and made the order without making her in any way feel uncomfortable, without making her feel like she wasn't being addressed or seen. But at the same time, he had his gaze completely lowered, but still in a way that made her feel like she was being seen. So like, and I clocked it, like just like how intentional he was with it. And I thought to myself, that's levels, bro. Like how often do you go and buy something from the shops and you don't think about it because your mind is not even in that space. You're like, hey there, can I grab one of these please? Thank you. Tap your card, buy. You don't think about the fact that even then, you got to be careful of where your gaze is going and stuff like that. And so I think that's one of those things that you can always be on top of.
100%. Another good example, man. And that is again, like, you've got to keep checking yourself. Improving, obviously, always really get aim, but it's also easy to slip into like maybe a lower level and be like, okay, I'm still good, still like lowering my gaze, but it's like, I've slipped compared to where I was like a year ago, 2 years ago. I've slipped a bit and I've re-comfortabilized myself with where I am now. Yeah. Whereas really you should be like, oh no, I've slipped a little bit, let me get back to where I was and then keep moving from there. So we need to recheck ourselves and make sure that we're moving forward all the time and not getting comfortable, like taking a step back a little bit.
Life is like a treadmill. Do you remember when I did that?
Yeah.
I regret that a lot. Okay.
Okay. I have one last one, which is, I got down financial management / charity.
Oh, I love that, bro.
Yeah.
Well, talk a bit about the financial management because you've done charity. You spoke about charity at the beginning.
Yeah, I did mention that.
But I think the financial management is a really good one.
Yeah, we've gone deep on this a few episodes.
Have we?
Way back when. But it's always good to revisit this as well because again, a lot of extravagance comes into it. Being stingy comes into it, and having that balance and trying to find that balance. And again, rechecking yourself every now and again to make sure you're not falling into either one of the two is very, very important. Saving versus spending. Again, there's balances there to consider. But yeah, I guess like the marathon of that is like, again, let's assume that you've ensured that you're not going to fall into extravagance or stinginess. Right? You've had that conversation with yourself and you're within your means. Now I would say is a time to like your marathon should be 1, giving regular charity at that point, and 2, making sure you're not spending beyond your means.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, falling into like debt, for example, right, because you spent too much on a particular month, you had to take out whatever, or you're tempted to do that, should we say? So having that sort of regular mindset of like, okay, I'm not going to spend too much, and I'm going to save some while giving charity on a regular basis. That should train you to, again, when the time to sprint, where it's giving charity or there's a big payment to make, you're not like coming in with zero momentum and you're not coming in with zero savings.
Yeah.
I think that's...
Yeah, I think even you could you can broaden the category and just say that throughout life, you have to be conscious of your financial relationship, your relationship with finances, regardless of what that means. Like sometimes that might mean making sure you have an emergency fund. Sometimes that might mean, like you said, and for different people, it would be different things. Like you said, some people are just naturally stingy. Some people are naturally, they're big spenders. I was listening to Hisham Abu Yusuf's lecture yesterday the 99 Names of Allah one, and he was on the episode of explaining the name of Allah, Ar-Razaq. And he mentioned, I think it was an ayah, and it was basically talking about the fact that Allah, I think it was from an ayah of the Qur'an, but the lesson was that if you had all of the wealth and everything in your hands, like how Allah has, He's like the ultimate, Allah has unlimited resources. The lesson that Sheikh Hisham was given, and I think it was from an ayah of the Qur'an, was that if you people had that level of resources, you would still be stingy. Like it's in our nature. Like you wouldn't give all of it, or you'd be like, oh, like what if I...
Yeah, this is it. And it's you remind me of another ayah, an ayah that I always come back to. I'm going to translate the meaning of it, the beginning of it anyway, where it says, Shaitan threatens you with poverty.
Yeah.
And I feel like whenever I read that, it really hits because I do sometimes feel that. I think everyone, well, it's from the Qur'an, so Allah knows us better than we know ourselves, right? And that word threatens you. I feel that because sometimes you do feel like it's a threat, like, oh, don't give charity right now because you're gonna lose everything or whatever. Like that's a real whisper of Shaitan.
Yeah. And
that's something we have to fight against and put our trust in Allah and not feel at all that charity will decrease your wealth, because it doesn't. And just in general, when it comes to not being stingy, trusting in Allah, like even when you're just like spending on your family, spending on your friends, whatever it may be, doing things for the sake of Allah, spending for the sake of Allah, and not giving into that whisper, that voice in your head that's like, oh no, you don't have to do that, just like put that away for a rainy day. You don't have to do that. Where it's like, no.
I think the other opposite is true as well, which is like having financial discipline with how you're spending, because I can't tell you the amount of times I've bought something and I've convinced myself like I really want it, or I really need it, or it really improve my life.
Yeah.
And then when I get it and that phase is gone, I'm like, I could have lived without this.
Yeah.
I did not need to do that. Like as much as my brain was telling me you need it.
Yeah.
Like a good example is the coffee machine in the office. I was able to experience that at home for a little bit. Like there was a period of time where I convinced myself like I need a good coffee machine that's bean to cup now. Like I'm done with Nespresso. And it was like on my head, I know it's such a first world problem, but I guess it's like a microcosm of my mind, my thinking. So I was like, in my head, I was like, oh, like I do need to get myself a decent coffee machine. I need to get myself a decent coffee machine. So then when we would get in the office, I bought the coffee machine that I would want in my house, right? And it's like a expensive bean to cup machine. And then while we were still sorting the office out, it was in my house. So I had to set it up in my house and I was enjoying it at my house. But experiencing it in my house for long enough made me realize that I don't need it. And I'm still using it. So then I brought it to the office and I never bought one. I still use my Nespresso machine, which is completely fine. So, but most of the time I don't get that beautiful opportunity of spending the money, but like it was the business expense. Yeah. And I was able to like, use it as if it was mine temporarily, experience it, let that excitement die down, and then go to the other end and be like, oh, I almost like got away with it. But normally what I'll do is I'll spend the money and then regret it later. But this time I was able to go through that whole motion and not spend money on it.
I also did this. If you remember, about a year ago, I did this, right?
With
right?
what?
I bought a projector.
Yes.
Right. If you remember, I bought like a high tech-ish projector, like really high quality.
Yeah.
And it got into my head that I needed a projector, right? Because I've got one TV, but I want another sort of setup somewhere else in the house, right? I got it, and it's instant regret. Yeah. It was a lot of money. It was like, I don't remember exactly how much it was, but it wasn't cheap, right? And it was instant regret. I put it on, and it was like, this is rubbish.
Yeah,
like, rubbish. Projectors are rubbish, man.
Yeah,
yeah. And I was like, this is bad. Like, and what I really regretted is not putting enough research into it. I probably researched it by my standards, nowhere near enough. It was like 2 weeks. I usually research things, a big purchase, I've got like a couple months, research it. And I was like, wow, this is really bad.
Oh, it's so annoying. It's like you commit before you buy it, you're like, I need it.
Oh no, this is a necessity.
Yeah.
But alhamdulillah, I managed to get out of it by just selling it on quickly. Usually in my world, I would just put something on a shelf now and wait for a year. Now it's degrading in value and I just get no money for it. But alhamdulillah, I just turned around and sold it. And I didn't get all my money back, but it was okay.
I think both of us had this with the PS5 as well, isn't it? Luckily for both of us, they were gifted. But yours was gifted.
Was I gifted?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, yes, it was.
Yeah, it was from your wife.
Yeah.
So, because I think both of us had the idea that, do you know what would be really nice is when the boys come around, slap some FIFA on.
Yeah.
Right?
By the way, I wasn't going to say that was what the projector was for.
Okay, fine.
It's just
and like, sometimes when you do have the boys around, you do think to yourself, do you know what? It'd be nice to have PS5 in the room because we can slap some FIFA on, which is true.
Yeah.
But then when you get a PS5 and how busy our lives are, we're parents, we're on like have careers, families, so on and so forth. You just
ain't got the time for it.
Ain't got the time to turn that thing on.
It was so old saying it, but ain't got the time.
And it's like, wow. Luckily, it was a gift, but otherwise, like, if I spent that 500 quid or whatever it was, I would have actually been like, oh my gosh, I convinced myself that it's such a necessity for my house.
Yeah.
And it comes on like a once in a blue moon.
Mm-hmm. You just mentioned something else that gave me an idea, which is like the marathon of life and like sprint of life. Like, because we're we've got families, jobs, old now. Whereas compared to in our 20s, I've talked about myself now. Before I was married, before kids, I had a lot more free time to do stuff. And I'm talking mainly about here, also for Dean, but also like dunyawi stuff, business, right? That was the time to sprint, I think. Dean and dunya wise, get more knowledge, hifd, and just also build business. And when family comes along, marriage and especially kids, I think kids for me was the big one. Time is like very limited now to do extra stuff, right? So now I feel like
now you're reliant upon
a lot of what I did in my 20s. I'm relying on right now,
but also you're reliant now upon the marathon bit.
Exactly. I mean, I feel like regular. And I think I said this to you like a couple of years ago. Like I feel like I'm in like a point in life where it's like I can't do too much. I need to just like be very careful with what I am doing.
Of course.
I feel like I'm in a marathon right now, where it's like I haven't got the ability to sprint right now in terms of business, or I won't make excuses for Dean because Dean. There's no excuse, but for business specifically, like I've got limited time. I've got 2 young kids.
But bro, even for Dean, like if you think about it, bro, I remember someone saying like how much Qur'an you would memorize if you just memorize 3 ayahs a day.
I'm saying it's no excuse.
And let's ask ChatGPT because the maddest thing is, bro, all of us have enough time
100%
to do 3 ayahs.
100%.
3 ayahs, bro. Let's ask ChatGPT how long would it take you to memorize the Qur'an if you memorized 3 ayahs a day? And now with ChatGPT 5, it's super fast.
I haven't felt that, by the way.
You haven't?
No.
It is faster. Okay, it would take you 5.7 years.
That's
so literally,
bro,
if you're 30 years old listening to this now, and you think to yourself, oh, I wish I could be happy by 35.
3 hours a day.
Bro, if you do 3 hours a day, and that's slow, you would be happy in 5 years by 35.
I don't know. This is what I'm saying. There's no excuse.
There's no excuse.
And to be fair, dunyawi now, if you were to do like some form of like outreach for, we said cold DMs, cold emails, you know, let's call it 30 a day, right? Instead of 3 emails a day, 3 DMs a day.
Yeah.
For 5 years, you probably would land quite a few clients and
exactly.
build a business.
Exactly.
So there isn't really excuse either way, but for sure, in your 20s or let's say before marriage, before kids, it's a lot easier to memorize 30 āyāt a day.
Yes.
Compared to
Yeah.
Or do 30 cold emails a day, 300 cold emails a day. So that's what I mean. Right now, I feel like I'm marathon mode. Maybe Charlotte wants kids to reach a certain age, go back into sprint mode. But now it feels like marathon mode.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, last one for me is something that you should be constantly trying to work on step by step throughout the course of your life, changing your dress sense. So, by the way...
Should we mention the elephant in the room right now?
Yeah. I'm wearing a snapback. Both of us are wearing the exact same t-shirt.
Exact same.
Kaya came in and he was like, I'm wearing the exact same t-shirt as you. Yeah, so I don't think I've nailed it at all, right?
Neither
I literally spend my entire life in tracksuit bottoms. I found one pair of tracksuit bottoms that I find really comfortable, and they're these Gymshark ones. And I have of them 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pairs I can think of Gymshark tracksuit bottoms.
Nice. No, I haven't even tried them on.
But
yours.
They're very comfortable.
Is it?
But the problem with that is that it's all I wear. If you see me out, I'm 99%
it's not the worst thing in the world.
But for 31-year-old man, you got to go from tracksuit to a little bit more.
Well, okay, but here's the thing. I'm not the person to ask for fashion sense because for me, I like wearing thobes. I did that for 2 reasons. One, inshallah, did it mainly for the fact that it's more modest, easy to pray and
of course, yeah.
But also, it removes the need for me to figure out what my outfit is.
Yeah.
It's a thobe. Everyone likes thobes. So I did that. So I'm not good at it. And when I'm wearing Western clothes, I don't do a good job of it. Neither do I really. And this is is my shortfall. I'm not saying this is a good thing. I don't put enough effort into like, let me have a good outfit on.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this works.
But I'm speaking as someone who also hasn't done it yet, but it is easy to do, I think. Now, first of all, the point in that category, by the way, is dress is like as you're going through life, you know, dressing in a respectable way for your situation.
Yeah.
Do you know who does it really well? Ibrahim.
Yes.
He always what Ibrahim has shown me is that you don't have to do anything extravagant. A nice plain t-shirt and some nice smart. He wears like smart trousers. He wears like
trousers,
but they're like smart flexi trousers.
Okay.
You know, like
chinos.
Kind of, but you know, like I think you know the kind of trousers that like look like they're chinos, but they're actually like the material of joggers. But like nowadays, it's so easy to do. That's what I wore my live event and the live event last week.
Okay.
It's like you go anywhere, you can get trousers like that look smart, but they're like super comfortable. Couple pairs of them.
Yeah.
Some clean shoes.
Yeah.
If you know, some clean shoes, and then he will wear them with like Air Maxes or on running or on running shoes. Which, by the way,
whoa, they're nice. By the way,
nice, right?
Oh, where's that from?
These are on running. I've wanted a pair of on running shoes for a while, and then my sister bought them for me as a gift for the live event.
Oh, bad.
Yeah,
very nice.
Anyway, so smart flexi trousers. Let's call them flexi trousers. So now comfort's not even an issue because they look like they feel like jogging bottoms.
Yeah.
Clean pair of crepes, plain t-shirt. Like what we're wearing now, any age could wear this t-shirt.
My top half right now is good.
Yeah.
If you see, if the camera was a pan down, it'll be like, okay.
But in any generation or age, a plain t-shirt that's clean.
Yeah.
It's the trousers that do it. It's either if you're bossing shorts, 3/4, and then also you probably don't need to wear a hat. But the hat thing, first of all, first you're going to hat, and you have to go buy it. Secondly, the hat thing is easy when you don't have, when you haven't done your hair.
Yes.
Slap on a hat.
Yeah.
And thirdly, you wear hats actually as you get older because you're losing more hair.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, my hair's thinning so much that I sometimes am so conscious of it that I probably don't need to be as conscious as I am.
You're overthinking the hair thing. You're overthinking. That's what. Yeah.
But
yeah. Okay. The hat thing, I mean, to be fair,
sometimes a hat doesn't look very.
But it's fine.
Yeah.
You make it work. I don't think I'll make hats work. I think you make it work. I don't think it just doesn't suit me.
I think 'cause I've worn hats all my life.
Maybe. And when I wear a hat, it just doesn't look
I've never seen you in a hat.
You have. There's a couple of episodes where I wore one because the trim was just not trimming.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, and I've gone through
Allah Barik, may Allah protect you. You got a great head of hair.
Mashallah, thank you.
Is that the Turkish or is that the Cypriot side?
Trying to get me in political trouble now because there's not much. Shouldn't be much of a difference. But I'll put it down to my Cypriot, my Turkish Cypriotness. How about that?
Fine.
I'll flip it on you. What was I saying? Yeah. So the hat thing, I get it, but I think it works for you. Another issue is fit. Right? Yeah. How well does that t-shirt and trousers fit you? And then it's also you got to be careful now with like Salah. You don't want it to be too well fitting. So there's that as well.
Yeah.
But I think like we kind of cracked the case with our t-shirts. We've gone to a specific shop that like the fit is nice.
And then we bought.
I've got like 4. Colours? I've got 4 now.
I bought in grey, dark grey, and black.
I've got grey, as you can see, black, and I think white and blue.
I wish I bought the white. Do they still sell them?
I think so.
If they still sell them, I'm going to go back.
Yeah. I also went. I'll tell you the name. Yeah.
It started getting a bit of that.
Yeah, I've got that as well. It's exactly what I've got.
Because it's such good quality.
But interestingly, only this one. But other ones haven't had that. But other colours haven't had that.
Maybe it's just grey.
Maybe.
What
do
you call this?
I don't know. There is a name though.
What is it?
I don't know, but it's
in Punjabi or like in our family, we call it bur.
Bur.
Yeah.
That rings a bell. What do you call it?
When you wash the t-shirt too many times.
When your t-shirt has bits and bobs on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Bits and bobs is, I guess, what comes to my mind.
You figure it out.
Yeah.
You figure out what I'm trying to ask.
I paid $20 a month for it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
All right. ChatGPT 5. That's actually called, pilling.
Pilling. Is it pilling or piling? Pilling. Piling's different.
It's 2 L's, pilling. The little bits and bobs, tiny balls of fluff or fuzz that form a fabric, especially on t-shirt, they're called pills.
Okay.
Individual pills.
You know there's a shaver you can get for them?
Yes, there's a little shaving thing. But that's got to like degrade
if you get to the point where you're shaving your t-shirt.
Yeah, it's time to get a new t-shirt.
Yeah.
I feel that's what I'm feeling into.
I don't want to get a new t-shirt.
I'm putting into being stingy now. I was like, bro, stop shaving your t-shirts, buddy.
Yeah,
just t-shirt. Do you know what I mean? But so the fit is important. I do want to ask Ibrahim where he gets his trousers because I've seen them advertised, but I never bought them. The trousers / like jogger thing.
He
maybe it's in Australia.
Yeah, because he came from Australia with them. Yeah. So he didn't get them from here. He's only blessed and been here a few weeks.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gone shopping.
I'll interrogate. Where is
it?
They must sell him here.
But almost every shop, bro, has
something like that.
Yeah,
you're right. I need to. I want to get on that. I want to crack the trouser
I think
case.
I'm going to do that as well. I think I'm going to like replace my I think I'm going to replace my regular wearage of Gymshark tracksuit bottoms with. I'll get a few pairs of these smart, comfortable trousers. The thing is with those trousers though, is that then you're very limited with the shoes you can wear.
You say that, but he wears.
I can't buzz these.
You can. You 100% can.
No, not with black smart. No, bro.
Why not?
Well, whoa, bright white.
In fact, I just saw. You know what? Interesting. On the way into the office, I saw one guy across the.
Wearing my exact outfit with different trousers. Yeah.
Like he was wearing a suit. He was wearing suit trousers and not the suit top, but he was wearing the shirt, right? And he had white trainers on.
I saw that as well.
And I was like, you know what? Works.
Fair play.
Works all right.
Yeah, it works for him.
It's like, you know what? I'm serious about my job, but I also like to.
I'm serious about my job, but I know I've got to be on my feet a little bit.
Yeah, got to be. You know what I mean? So it works. I think it does work.
Yeah, maybe.
Or you just buy black trainers.
Do you know what? Because Ibrahim wears them with most of the time with.
White trainers.
He does wear white trainers, but he wears them with the correct white trainers, which are Air Forces, right?
Yeah.
Whereas these are running shoes. Air Forces look better on them. Now, here's my problem with Nike stuff. Yeah, I started boycotting Nike like 10 years ago.
It's when it comes like the name issue, the name of it being dodgy.
So basically, not 10 years ago. I was in my first flat after marriage. So I want to say 6-7 years ago. I started boycotting Nike. I had, and this was based on the advice of a few different shuyukh, yeah, because at the time Nike had released a new line called the Goddess of Victory, and so the argument for the shuyukh at the time was that, or I was actually speaking to Sheikh Mohammed Tim actually about it at this time, and Sheikh Mohammed Tim was big on the boycott of Nike. He was basically, from what I remember saying to me, that okay, because the people who didn't boycott Nike, they were saying that like it's just a name and it's not relevant anymore. Even if it did initially mean Goddess of Victory. Because then you can't say the names of the week because Thursday comes from Thor's day, which is like the Greek god and things like that. So I guess a pretty valid argument. But then as soon as they released the line, the Goddess of Victory line, where on their t-shirts they had the tagline Goddess of Victory everywhere. This was a few years ago. Sheikh Tim was like, no one claims Thursday as Thor's day, but Nike are literally claiming
reviving that
we are Goddess of Victory. So he said because of that, it's a cut off. And so at the time, I was like, it makes sense. And so I had a mad collection of Nike shoes, Air Maxes, Air Forces, everything. I had some brand new Air Forces, but I got rid of all of them. My Nike, I had a really nice windbreaker. Got rid of that. All my tracksuit bottoms were Nike. All my tracksuits in general were Nike. That's why I started wearing Gymshark actually, because like I took anyway, got rid of them all. Now I don't wear Nike because I'm less strict on myself with the Nike boycott thing now, because I feel like there's a lot of shuyukh who are like, it's calm. Sheikh Hasim Hakim even says calm. I think there's still a divide, but I've come to terms with the fact that it's quite a nuanced decision. But now, because it's been so long, that's the only reason I'm just used to it now. It's just in my head, I just never buy Nike. And so because I've done it so long, I'm like, what's the point? Like, but otherwise, I would probably wear Air Max with them. That being said, I have a really nice pair of Ralph Lauren trainers that are basically exactly Air Maxes, but they're Ralph Lauren.
I think I've seen them.
Yeah, but they're black.
Yeah.
Also, running shoes are so comfortable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For me, comfortability. Yeah, I'm not. That's comfortable.
So for context, guys, who are just listening, I just put my head under the table to look at what Kai's wearing on his shoes. I've always wearing my shoes. Yeah, he's wearing some sliders.
Yeah, and don't even ask about the brand either.
Yeah,
so,
fine.
But I always kind of preferred Adidas, by the way. I don't know what their story is.
Yeah.
That I need to look into them specifically.
Yeah,
I'm not promoting them. But so when the whole Nike situation come up for me years back,
did you initially be like, was that convincing enough for you?
I was convinced by the other argument, but I didn't know about that whole like they did that whole revival thing. I didn't know that.
That whole thing is such a nuanced thing still. Like I'm not saying I'm not convinced by it.
Maybe at that time specifically, if they were like putting out everything, maybe that time it was like you're trying to revive that. Maybe it was like a campaign they had. It was like, no, I'm not definitely going near that. And maybe now it's on again, but I don't know. Allah knows best. But I prefer Adidas anyway. Yeah. There's also other like, just like smaller, not niche, but just like smaller brands who like just doing. Like there's a Chinese brand here that does really nice trainers and like.
What is that brand?
I'm not gonna be able to pronounce it. Zhulonggu, something like that. They're on all the malls. They do like these like very lightweight trainers.
Yeah.
And they're nice and they're not like crazily priced.
By the way, for the kids' school.
Yes.
I have to get some credit to the audience because you almost forget that we're speaking from cameras here. My kids are now moving to big school.
Yep.
From next week, inshallah, and that's the same school that your daughter goes to. So, bro, on the form I read that for PE they have to wear strictly plain white or plain black trainers. How strict are they in enforcing that?
You're talking to the guy who doesn't go by any of the school rules.
Yeah, bro, Khalil has bright blue trainers, bro.
Yeah, that might be.
To go out and buy.
That might be. I mean, no.
This is trainers though.
My daughter's definitely got in pink.
Yeah,
100%.
I feel like
pink.
They're not going to be that strict on that.
They're not going to, bro.
It's PE.
Worst case, you might get a little email.
Yeah.
Bam. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. What are they going to do, bro? They're going to kick you out because like you got wrong. You might get a comment. There's
worst case, I'll buy some.
Put this case, I mean, multiple times. So there's a few rules. Especially
have you received warnings?
No.
Okay.
And I deserve some. I never received any like official ones. But I got some comments from a teacher. It's like, oh, can you make sure that like X, Y, and Z. For example, with girls, the hair's always got to be up.
Really?
Obviously, with the younger girls who have their hair out still, their hair should be tied up.
Really?
Yeah, but my daughter's infamously very difficult to touch her hair, especially in the mornings, right? So sometimes we send her in with her hair down, right? With hairbands.
What's the reason for that?
It's less dangerous if they're running around, get hair caught and stuff,
I had no idea.
Yeah.
These are things I don't know as a boy dad.
Yeah, so, but sometimes you send her like that. And so sometimes after when I'm picking her up, it's like, yeah, can you make sure this? I'm like, try. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah,
Hold on, are they allowed fades and stuff? Are they strict on haircuts?
I've got no idea about the boy stuff.
We'll see. Because I give my kids their haircuts, and I only know how to do one haircut.
Now, I'm pretty sure I've seen kids with like the normal like fade type haircut.
Yeah, it's not like mad, but it's just like a regular haircut.
Yeah, and bro, look, I'm not trying to encourage you to like not listen to school or something like that, but it's like nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, as long as they like.
If you can build yourself up to not be upset by an odd comment here or there, it's like, hey, could you like make sure hair's like this, hair's like that? Yeah, I'll try my best. And you should try your best.
And also, like, she's like 5 or 6, right? It's like,
come on, man. Sometimes hair's gonna be down.
Yeah,
not split hairs here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was exciting that we went to pick up their uniform and got their uniforms measured out, and
it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. But what's also frustrating is that because Khalil's going to like the nursery section still of that school, they on next week they start. They with Khalil's class, they're staggering it. Yeah. So Zachariah starts like super early in the morning, but Khalil starts like an hour and a half later. So I'm just going to go for like a coffee with Khalil.
Yeah.
And then drop him back to school about an hour and a half later, then come to the office. And then all of next week, I was like, oh, great. Like now they're in proper big school, I'm going to have loads of hours in the office in bulk because they start school at like 7, finish by like around 3-ish. So it's like you got like a full 7-hour day in the office. But all of next week, they're finishing school early.
Is it? I knew the staggered start, but I thought the endings was the same, no? Or maybe I got that wrong.
They're finishing early. Or at least like Khalil is.
Maybe, yeah. How about, Khalil would like finish early in general. There's like a club to go to, no?
No, he's not finishing early in general. That would be if he was in FS1.
Oh.
But that's why we kept them in their school last year, because we were like, I don't want to do different pickup times.
Yeah, that's right.
So they'll both be picked up at the same time now. But let's just look here, bro, quickly.
We'll go to my spam.
Yeah, bro. So you're right. From Wednesday is normal school timings for our kids. Fine. But the whole of next week for Khalil, it's short day. It's a short day.
What about Zachary?
Yeah, Zachary is normal from Wednesday. So that's even gonna be weird. So next week I'm gonna be picking up Khalil.
Yeah.
And then I've got 2 hours.
2 hours.
What do
you can bring him here.
Oh, and distract the team.
Yeah. Give 2 hours though.
I think.
What about the after
Is
school?
that enough time for me to take him home, you think?
Yeah, we literally could go home, come back.
Isn't it? That's annoying.
But then again, it's probably the best option.
That probably is my best option, bro. Because I'll get him home. I could have lunch at home.
Yeah, have lunch.
I could probably do about 30-40 minutes at home before I have to go pick up.
Yeah.
Zachariah. But bro, you know that Friday timing, is that all year round then? They finish early on Friday?
Was it 11:10?
Yeah.
Yes, all year round.
So they finish for Jummah basically.
Yeah.
It's still a decent amount of time at school.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I don't write the Friday off, but it's like I'll get some like small tasks done.
Do they have a productive day at school on Friday? They probably do, right? Because in the nursery, it was like...
I'm pretty sure last year, my daughter's Friday was either one of the Qur'an lessons or Islamic lessons on that time. So it was like, for me, it was like, yeah, definitely.
Because she's going to be in the year above Zachariah now, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're in the same building, so they'll see each other.
Have you been told who her teacher is going to be this year?
I think my wife has. I don't know the difference, mate.
Okay. We got Khalil's teacher's name.
Do you want to? Okay, I'll be interested to know because maybe the one.
I'll tell you off. So as soon as we got the name, we were like on LinkedIn trying to search and find the teacher. So we couldn't find anything. Like, who's our kid's teacher?
My wife knows like 2 or 3 teachers, so we probably would know them.
All right, fine. Yeah. But even in FS?
Yeah, I think they're like. Yeah, I think so.
Fine. All right, guys, thank you so much. It's Asr time. The adhan just went off about 15 minutes ago, which means we've got about 5 minutes left to the iqamah. And so we're going to shoot off, inshallah, to the masjid. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you very much for having us back on episode 400. Do you know what? It's really annoying, yeah? is that actually we did episode 400 live, but we were like 2 episodes short. So actually this is episode like,
Was it?
yeah, this is episode like 390, like 8. Yeah. How confusing is that? A little bit,
That's
not
all
that
right.
much.
We'll survive.
Yeah. So thank you for watching episode 300 and, oh, we don't even know. It's fine. It's fine. We don't know. 393, 394, 395, 396, 397. Yeah, this is 398. Thank you for watching episode 398. Assalamu alaikum.